So News Nation, you know that I'm on there, and tonight I'll be on with Katie Pavlich. A little bit later, we usually do Cuomo on Wednesday, but I don't know why we're not doing it. But they asked me to do Katie, and I'd be happy to do it. And she's at 10 Eastern. There's a whole laundry list of what she wants to talk about, which is good. I like that. I like to pong around. So we'll see you there. They have a pretty good polling operation called Decision Desk HQ. DDHQ, Independent Nonpartisan Provider of Election Data. Okay, I'll look at that. Here is the headline as it stands on July 15th. Congress, 65% that Democrats will win at least one house. 40% Democrats will win both houses. Okay? 35% Republicans will retain both houses, full control. So Dems look like they have a fairly significant advantage here. That can change overnight. Okay. House of Representatives, 39% chance the Republicans retain the House. 62% chance Democrats win the House. Okay? That's all about money in people's pockets. That's what this is about. Okay? Finally, the Senate, 57% chance Republicans retain the Senate, 43% Democrats win it. So those are the latest numbers. Do I have any quibble with those numbers? I do not. But they can change in a heartbeat with victory. Americans like winners. Okay. Now, one guy who follows this stuff every day, as I do, is named Mike Slater. You may know him because he is the radio guy we use. See, our radio broadcasts go out about 300 stations. And we have a format that at the top of the radio, O'Reilly, whatever it is, they can put on whatever they want. WABC is our flagship in New York City, and it's Bill O'Reilly commentary. So Slater comes on and he gives you the headlines because Slater's up like 3 in the morning. I just can't do it. And he's got boom, boom, boom. Then I come on and I give you a message of the day, commentary. And then I come on again as the third part of the commentary where something you might not know, which is really caught on because we give you a lot of good information. So anyway, Slater, who's been around forever, he's a good broadcaster. He used to live in San Diego. He's a local San Diego radio guy and lived out there. And San Diego is a beautiful place to live, or at least was. I haven't been there in a while. And he moved to Tennessee, Slater. And he does a podcast every day, 5 originals, 2 reruns, called Politics by Faith. He joins us now from Nashville. So are you a holy roller now? What are you now? Are you, what are you?
Yeah, I've been so for about 12 years. We like to thump the Bible on Politics by Faith, Bill O'Reilly. We thump it over there unapologetically.
Okay, give me an example of a theme that Politics by Faith would take on.
Let me give you the genesis, if I may, of why we started this podcast. I felt that people were very full of anxiety, Bill. It's important to bring in the headlines, understand the news and what's happening, but I saw that people were being taken out with anxiety. And that's not good. We have a country to save. And if we have anxiety, then we're not going to be able to think clearly. And Hebrews 11 and 12 starts off with faith is the assurance of things hoped for, the conviction of things not seen. And then it goes into all the characters in the Bible. So by faith, Abel, by faith, Enoch, by faith, Abraham. And they talk about these incredible saints. If I may, Mr. O'Reilly, give a shout out to one of your books, Killing England. Anyone listening now who's read the book Killing England, and then you go see the movie Young Washington, it's all there. Everything from your book is in the movie Young Washington. But Young Washington and the men and women in Virginia that he fought for, they never lost heart. And they never lost sight of providence and God's hand over the affairs of man and the affairs of nations. And that's what we do. We understand that God is in control and that there's nothing new under the sun. I'll just give you one example. Lindsey Graham passing away the other day. What do we do with that? What lessons can we learn from that? We talked about Ecclesiastes 7. Bill, last time you were on my radio show, if you remember, I asked you, what do you want your legacy to be? Do you remember what you said?
No, I can't remember what I did yesterday.
Bill, you said, my legacy doesn't concern me. I do what's right in the moment. That is, I don't know if you knew it, but you quoted essentially Ecclesiastes 2:16, which says, for the wise, like the fool, will not be long remembered. And that sounds like a downer, but it's not. It's about focusing on eternal things. So that's just an example. Anything in the news, we bring it to the Bible and we try to get rid of our anxiety.
All right, and it's a good thing to have people be optimistic or hopeful that the situation, whatever it may be, is going to turn in a positive way. Now, you yourself, are you a religious guy? I mean, what faith are you? Were you raised in a home that was very religious?
No, I was a creaster growing up, Bill. We went on Christmas and Easter. That was it. It wasn't until I moved to Tennessee when I first started to learn about the Bible and understand. So it's been about 14 years since I was baptized.
All right, so you were kind of a semi-atheist, or you guys, your family didn't really engage in organized religion. And then you, as many people do, saw the light and decided to become interested in the deity and theology. When you do the podcast, it just seems to me that you are relying upon unreality. Let me explain that. So when I wrote Killing Jesus, the intent of the book, and it succeeded phenomenally, was to portray Jesus as a human being. Now, we don't have any miracles in there because he couldn't verify the meeting. He couldn't do any of that. All right, and we didn't take Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, or any of the New Testament or any of the Old Testament to set up anything. All we did was we went down the line, and here's a 32-year-old guy who's murdered by the Romans. Why was he murdered? All right, and under that banner, we were able to get into his philosophy. I mean, remember, Jesus of Nazareth, I never call him Jesus Christ, by the way, because Christ is a symbol of God. And we call him the Nazarene or Jesus of Nazareth. But he's the most famous person on earth and always will be, which is pretty startling for a stone cutter from a small town that nobody ever heard of, Nazareth. That's pretty shocking. There's got to be something there, and that's how we went, how we roll, they say. Your podcast is more of a traditional, this is what the theology says, or am I wrong?
No, I think that's right. It's the theology and just the history. I'd like to go back to Old Testament stories and relate things that have happened today to battles that have happened in the past, and the great men that are in this historical book as well. I just love the idea that there's nothing new under the sun.
Okay, so but you're not taking the Old Testament literally, are you?
I am indeed.
So you believe that everything in the Old Testament happened?
I do.
The frog, the plagues in Egypt, the frogs came down, they chased them around, the Red Sea parted, they went through the Red Sea. You, Mike Slater, you're believing that?
Mr. O'Reilly, at the risk of losing my opening, starting 3 minutes of your O'Reilly update, I believe every word of the Bible is true as it is written literally.
Okay, and believe me, your belief should be respected. Mm-hmm. Anybody running it down or anybody denying it is anti-democratic and foolish, in my opinion. Now let's turn to a lifestyle situation. So you're out there in San Diego. I guess you're surfing every afternoon after your radio shift or whatever you're doing, whatever they do in San Diego. Okay, I've been to San Diego a dozen times. I always enjoyed myself. It's gone downhill, as all of California has. And then you decide, for family reasons, because your wife is a Tennessean, to go to Tennessee. So you move the family to Tennessee. Primarily, what is the difference between San Diego and Nashville? What have you seen?
Yeah, the thing that's speaking to me right now, and I'm really curious your take on this, Bill, is how beautiful it is. Tennessee. Tennessee is stunningly beautiful. The land here. Now, I know you said California, San Diego in particular, is beautiful. It's not. The distinction I've realized over time is the weather's nice, but that's very different than it is beautiful. It actually is not that beautiful. It's desert. It doesn't speak, that land doesn't speak to me. Tennessee with its rolling hills and beautiful trees and it's lush and it's green. It's so beautiful. I was, we were at Monticello recently. We went there for the 4th. We brought the kids out there. And you're standing on this Monticello, Italian for Little Mountain, and you look around at the Blue Ridge Mountains. And you're just like, yeah, of course. Of course Thomas Jefferson fought for this land. Of course he said the king's not going to tell me what to do. I think the land is really powerful, and Tennessee is full of people who really, really want to fight for this country and fight for this land.
Yeah, it's a red state and conservative thinkers mostly. What about socially? Did you have to make any adjustments going from California to Tennessee?
No, Tennessee is my people. My first job out of college was also in Tennessee, West Tennessee. Shout out to Jackson, Tennessee. And that's just where I really cut my teeth in conservatism and where I started to learn the Bible. So it's always been a second home to me. I call myself a born again Tennessean, and then home, obviously, for my wife. One thing I also love about Tennessee, and this speaks maybe I think to your social point or question, is Tennessee is built around towns. So there's all these towns where you have the courthouse in the middle and then town square around it with local businesses. And then the school's right a block away. And the community is around that. And it's all very town focused. And San Diego in particular, it's not. It's like highway and corporate slop and strip malls. And it's just all blends together and blah. And you lose a lot of that sense of community that I think is really important for raising a family.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, Tennessee is a lot older than San Diego as far as the development is concerned. And that goes all the way back to Andrew Jackson and Davy Crockett. It's a fascinating state. All right, Mike, the podcast is Politics by Faith, okay? YouTube at Politics by Faith. Just punch that up and there it is, right?
What an honor, Bill. Thank you to hear you say those words. As if I'm not nervous enough to talk about to the great Bill O'Reilly. Then you remind me that the President of the United States watches the show every night. What am I supposed to do here, Bill?
No, you just do what you do. That's all.
All we can do.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't have hired you if you were some kind of moron. So you just do what you do, Mike. And we wish you the best with it. Thanks for coming on.
Thank you.